For day 6 notes, you have to pick what method to use and then go ahead and use that method to solve the problem. So, I'm trying to get it to focus. So for example 1, this problem looks like a factoring problem. And so it says it's easy to factor. So I try to factor first. Okay, so negative 30, try to get to 1. Well, 5 and 6 can get to negative 1 if 6 is negative. So this means I chose factoring as my method. Okay, and then I also need to solve that. So that's going to be x plus 5, x minus 6 equals 0. And then we just set each part equal to 0 and solve. So here we would subtract the 5, and x would be negative 5. Here we would add 6, and 0 plus 6 is 6. So we're looking for negative 5 and positive 6. So C. Okay, and number 2, this one is 2x squared plus 1 equals 19. So let me try to focus again. So this one would be finding square roots. There is no x term. So here we have an x squared term, but I do not have an x term. So I need to solve like a regular equation. So I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. Get 2x squared equals 18. Then we divide on both sides and get x squared equals 9. The last step is to take the square root of both sides. So the square root of 9 is plus or minus 3. So that's C. Okay. In number 3, there is no x term as well. So we're going to find square roots. So we're going to add 8. 2x squared equals 8. Then divide both sides by 2. And x squared equals 4. But we need to take the square root of 4 and get plus or minus 2. So let's change b out to be plus or minus 2. Alright, number 4. So here we have 3 terms, so we try factoring. So we start with 3, we try to get to negative 5. Well, 1 times 3 is the only thing that makes 3, but it cannot get to negative 5. So that means I can't use factoring. So now it says I have to use quadratic formula if the equation is not factorable. Okay, it's not factorable, and here's the quadratic formula for you in case you need it. So we're going to start out with labeling A, B, C. Okay, so here A is 1, B is negative 5, and C is 3. Okay, this is where I don't go back and forth. This is the formula. Alright, so over here, we can start plugging in. So first of all, we have negative B. Well, B is a negative 5. So a negative, negative 5. And yes, that should turn into a positive. Okay, plus or minus the square root of B squared, so negative 5 squared, minus 4 times A times C. So you should have negative 4 times 1 times 3. All over 2 times A, and A is 1. Okay, so now we're going to simplify. So a negative, negative 5 became 5. 2 times 1 in the denominator is 2. Negative 5 squared is negative 5 times negative 5. That is 25. Then we have negative 4 times 1, and that is negative 4, so I get rid of that. And then negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. Okay? To keep simplifying, we have 5 plus or minus the square root of 25 minus 12 is 13. All over 2. Okay, so 13, if I try to do a factor tree, I only come up with 1 and 13. So 1 times 13 goes back in the radical. It's not a perfect square, so this is my final solution, which is D.